Yes, it's recording now. Thank you.
Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Chapter 9, The Most Confidential Knowledge. Text 1. Sri Bhagavana Uvacha Idam tu te guhyatamam pravakshamanaish manasuyave nanam vijnana sahitam yajya tva mokshashe subhat.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "My dear Arjuna, because you are never envious of me, I shall impart to you this most confidential knowledge and realization, knowing which you shall be relieved of all miseries of material existence."
Text 2. Rajavidya rajaguhyam avitram idam uttamam pratyakshavagamdhamyam susukham kartumapyayam.
This knowledge is the king of education, the most secret of all secrets. It is the purest knowledge, and because it gives direct perception of the self by realization, it is the perfection of religion. It is everlasting, and it is joyfully performed.
अश्रद्धदानः पुरुषः धर्मस्य परन्तप अप्राप्य मां निवर्तन्ते मृत्युसंसारवर्त्मनि.
Those who are not faithful in this devotional service cannot attain me, O conqueror of enemies. Therefore, they return to the path of birth and death in this material world.
Text 4. Maya tadmidam sarvam jagat avyaktamurtina matsthani sarvabhutani na chaham teshvavastitah.
By me, in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them.
Text 5. Nacha matstani bhutani ashyame yogameshwaram bhuta bruna cha bhutasto mamatma bhuta bhavanaha.
And yet everything that is created does not rest in me. Behold my mystic opulence. Although I am the maintainer of all living entities, and although I am everywhere, I am not a part of this cosmic manifestation, for myself is the very source of creation.
Text 6. Yathakashastito nityam vayuhu sarvatra go mahan तथा सर्वाणि भूतानि मत्स्थानीत्युपधारय.
Understand that as the mighty wind blowing everywhere rests always in the sky, all created beings rest in me.
X7. सर्वभूतानि कौन्तेय प्रकृतिं यान्ति मामिकां कल्पक्षये पुनस्तानि कल्पादौ विसृजाम्यहम्.
O son of Kunti, at the end of the millennium, all material manifestations enter into my nature, and at the beginning of another millennium, by my potency, I create them again.
Text 8. Prakritim swamavastabhya vishrujame punah punah utagramam imam krutsvam avasham prakruter vashat.
The whole cosmic order is under me. Under my will, it is automatically manifested again and again, and under my will, it is annihilated at the end.
Text 9. Nacha mam tani karmani nibadhananti dhananjaya udasena udasenam asaktam teshu karmashu.
O Dhananjaya, all this work cannot bind me. I am ever detached from all these material activities. seated as though neutral.
Text 10. मयाद्याक्षेण प्रकृतिः सूयते सचराचरम् हेतुनानेन कौन्तेय विपरिवर्तते.
This material nature, which is one of my energies, is working under my direction, O son of Kunti, producing all moving and non-moving beings. Under its rule, this manifestation is created and annihilated again and again.
Text 11. अवजानन्ति मां मूढा मानुषीं तनुमाश्रितं परं भावं जानन्तो मम भूतमहेश्वरम्.
Fools deride me when I descend in the human form. They do not know my transcendental nature as the Supreme Lord of all that be.
Text 12. मोगाशा मोगकर्मणो मोगज्ञानाविचेतसः राक्षसी मासुरीं चैव प्रकृतिं मोहिनीं श्रितः.
Those who are thus bewildered are attracted by demonic and atheistic views. In that deluded condition, their hopes for liberation, their fruitive activities, and their culture of knowledge are all defeated.
Text 13. महात्मानस्तु मां पार्थ देवीं प्रकृतिमाश्रिताः भजन्तन्नन्यमनसो ज्ञात्वा भूतादिमव्ययम्.
O son of Pritha, those who are not deluded, the great souls, are under the protection of the divine nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible.
Text 14. सततं कीर्तयन्तो मां यतन्तश्च त्रिधा व्रतः नमस्तन्तश्च मां भक्त्या नित्ययुक्ता उपासते.
Always chanting my glories, endeavoring with great determination, bowing down before me. These great souls perpetually worship me with devotion.
Text 15. ज्ञानयज्ञेन चाप्यन्ये यजन्तो मामुपासते एकत्वेन पृथक्त्वेन बहुधा विश्वतो मुखम्.
Others who engage in sacrifice by the cultivation of knowledge worship the Supreme Lord as the one without a second, as diverse in many and in the universal form.
Text 16. Aham krataraham yajya swadam aham oshadam mantro aham evajam aham agnir aham hutam.
But it is I who am the ritual, I the sacrifice, the offering to the ancestors, the healing herb, the transcendental chant. I am the butter and the fire and the offering.
Text 17. Pitahamasya jagato mata dhata pitamaha Vedyam pavitram omkara ruksama yajurevacha.
I am the father of this universe, the mother, the support, and the grandsire. I am the object of knowledge, the purifier, and the syllable Om. I am also the Rig, the Sama, and the Yajurvedas.
Text 18. Gatir bharta prabhu shakshi nivasah sharanam suhyat prabhavaha pralayah sthanam nidanam bijamavyayam.
I am the goal, the sustainer, the master, the witness, the abode, the refuge, and the most dear friend. I am the creation and the annihilation, the basis of everything, and the resting place and the eternal seed.
Text 19. Tapamyaham vasham nigruhamyutsrujami cha अमृतं चैव मृत्युश्च सदसच्चाहमर्जुन.
O Arjuna, I give heat, and I withhold and send forth the rain. I am immortality, and I am also death personified. Both spirit and matter are in me.
Text 20. त्रैविद्यमां सोमपहापूतपापा यज्ञैरिष्ट्रा स्वर्गतिं प्रार्थयन्ते ते पुण्यमासाद्य सुरेन्द्रलोकम् अश्नन्ति दिव्यान् दिवि देव भोगान्.
Those who study the Vedas and drink the Soma juice, seeking the heavenly planets, worship me indirectly. Purified of sinful reactions, they take birth on the pious heavenly planet of Indra, where they enjoy godly delights.
Text 21. Etam bhuktva स्वर्गलोकं विशालं क्षिणे पुण्ये मर्त्यलोकं विशन्ति एवं त्रयी धर्ममनुप्रपन्ना गता गतं कामकामा लभन्ते.
When they have thus enjoyed vast heavenly sense pleasure and the results of their pious activities are exhausted, they return to this mortal planet again. Thus those who seek sense enjoyment by adhering to the principles of the three Vedas achieve only repeated birth and death.
Text 22. अनन्यश्चिन्तयन्तो मां ये जनाः पर्युपासते तेषां नित्यभियुक्तानां योगक्षेमं वहाम्यहम्.
But those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack, and I preserve what they have.
Text 23. येऽप्यन्यदेवता भक्ता यजन्ते श्रद्धयान्वितः तेऽपि मामेव कौन्तेय यजन्त्य विधिपूर्वकम्.
Those who are devotees of other gods and who worship them with faith actually worship only me, O son of Kunti, but they do so in a wrong way.
Text 24. Aham him sarvayajnanam bhokta cha prabhureva cha natu mama bijananti tatve natascha vantite.
I am the only enjoyer, the master of all sacrifices. Therefore, those who do not recognize my true transcendental nature fall down.
Text 25. Yanti devavrata devan pitrun yanti pitruvratah bhutani yanti bhuteja yanti madhyajinopi mam.
Those who worship the demigods will take birth among the demigods. Those who worship the ancestors go to the ancestors. Those who worship ghosts and spirits will take birth among such beings. And those who worship me will live with me.
Text 26. Atram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhaktyupahatma tadaham bhaktyupahatyama ashnami prayatatmanaha.
If one offers me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, fruit, or water, I will accept it.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna, what's happening?
Yeah. She's supposed to recite the translation. Is it finished?
Okay, yes, I'm back. Sorry.
Okay.
Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer
No,
or give away.
I haven't done the Sanskrit yet. Sorry. Text 27. Yat karoshi yat snasi yat juhosi dadasi yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat kurushva madarpanam.
Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me.
Text 28. Shubha Shubha Falerevam Mokshashe Karma Bandhanehe Sannyasa Yoga Yuktatma Vimukto Mamupeshyasi.
In this way, you will be freed from bondage to work and its auspicious and inauspicious results. With your mind fixed on me, in this principle of renunciation, you will be liberated and come to me.
Text 29. Samoham Sarvabhuteshu Name Dveshu Stina Priyaha Ye Bhajanti Tu Mam Bhaktya Mai Te Te Suchapyaham.
I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I am equal to all. But whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I am also a friend to him.
Text 30. Api chetsu duracharo bhajate mamananya bhak sadureva samantavyah samyagva vasito hi saha.
Even if one commits the most abominable action, if he is engaged in devotional service, he is to be considered saintly because he is properly situated in his determination.
Text 31. Shripram bhavati dharmatma shasvachantim nigacchati kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashyati.
He quickly becomes righteous and attains lasting peace. O son of Kunti, declared boldly that my devotee never perishes.
Text 32. Mam hi partha vyapashritya yepi shyuha papayo naha striyo vaishyas tata shrudras tepi yanti param gatim.
O son of Pritha, those who take shelter in me, though they be of lower birth, women, Vaishyas, merchants, and Shudras, workers, can attain the supreme destination.
Text 33. Kim puna brahmana punya bhakta rajarshayasthatha anityama sukham lokam imam prapya bhajasva mam.
How much more this is of the righteous Brahmanas, the devotees, and the saintly kings. Therefore, having come to this temporary miserable world, engage in loving service unto me.
Text 34. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishyasi yukte tvam atmanam matparayanaha.
Engage your mind always thinking of me. Become my devotee. Offer obeisances to me and worship me. Being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me.
Om Tat Sat it Srimad Bhagavad Gita Su Upanishadesu Brahma Vidyaya Yogeshware Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Rajavidya Rajaguhya Yoga Nama Navamo Adhyaya. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Jai Radhika Mataji and Pinky Mataji. Sorry, the name on the screen is Pinky Mataji. Is that your correct name? Sometimes people use somebody else's phones. So is that the right name, Mataji?
Yes, it's Pinky.
Okay, thank you so much. Very, very nicely recited, both of you.
Thank you.
Excellent. Okay, so let me now share today's verse. Okay, so today we are on the last verse of this chapter, 934. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Manmana Bhava Madbhakto Madhyaji Mam Namaskuru Mame Vashyashi Yukvaivam Atmanam Matparayana. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Engage your mind always in thinking of me, become my devotee, offer obeisances to me, and worship me. Being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me. Purport is a bit of a lengthy purport, but we'll go through that. In this verse, it is clearly indicated that Krishna consciousness is the only means of being delivered from the clutches of this contaminated material world. Sometimes unscrupulous commentators distort the meaning of what is clearly stated here, that all devotional service should be offered to the personality of Godhead, Krishna. Unfortunately, unscrupulous commentators divert the mind of the reader to that which is not at all feasible. Such commentators do not know that there is no difference between Krishna's mind and Krishna. Krishna is not an ordinary human being. He is absolute truth. His body, his mind, and he himself are one and absolute. It is stated in the Kurma Purana, and it is quoted by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami in his Anubhashya comments in Chaitanya Charitamrita 5th chapter, Adi Lila, verses 41 to 48. Deha dehi vibhedoyam neshvare vidyate kvachit. This means that there is no difference in Krishna, the Supreme Lord, between himself and his body. But because the commentators do not know this science of Krishna, they hide Krishna and divide his personality from him, from his mind, or from his body. Although this is a sheer ignorance of science of Krishna, some men make profit out of misleading people. There are some who are demonic. They say they also think of Krishna, but enviously, just like King Kamsa, Krishna's uncle. He was also thinking of Krishna always, but he thought of Krishna as his enemy. He was always in anxiety, wondering when Krishna would come to kill him. That kind of thinking will not help us. One should be thinking of Krishna in devotional love. That is bhakti. One should cultivate the knowledge of Krishna continuously. What is that favorable cultivation? It is to learn from a bona fide teacher. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and we have several times explained that his body is not material, but it is eternal, blissful knowledge. This kind of talk about Krishna will help one become a devotee. Understanding Krishna otherwise from wrong source will prove fruitless. One should therefore engage his mind in the eternal form, the primeval form of Krishna, With conviction in his heart that Krishna is the supreme, he should engage himself in worship. There are hundreds of thousands of temples in India for the worship of Krishna, and devotional service is practiced there. When such practice is made, one has to offer obeisances to Krishna. One should lower his head before the deity, engage his mind, his body, his activities, everything. That will make one fully absorbed in Krishna without deviation. This will help one transfer to Krishna Loka. One should not be deviated by unscrupulous commentators. One must engage in the 9 different processes of devotional service, beginning with hearing and chanting about Krishna. Pure devotional service is the highest advancement of human society. The 7th and 8th chapters of Bhagavad Gita have explained pure devotional service to the Lord that is free from speculative knowledge, mystic yoga, and fruitive activities. Those who are not properly sanctified may be attracted by the different features of the Lord, like the impersonal Brahma Jyoti and localized Paramatma. But a devotee directly takes to the service of the Supreme Lord. There is a beautiful poem about Krishna in which he clearly stated that any person who is engaged in the worship of demigods is most unintelligent and cannot achieve at any time the supreme award of Krishna. The devotee in the beginning may sometimes fall from standard, but still he should be considered superior to all the other philosophers and yogis. One who always engages in Krishna consciousness should be understood to be a perfectly saintly person. His accidental non-devotional activities will diminish, and he will soon be situated without any doubt in complete perfection. The pure devotee has no actual chance to fall down because the Supreme Godhead personally takes care of his pure devotees. Therefore, the unintelligent person should take directly to the process of Krishna consciousness and happily live in the material world. He will eventually receive the supreme award of Krishna. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purpose of the 9th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita in a matter of the most confidential knowledge. I now just share my PowerPoint. Right, Hare Krishna. So, as I said, this is the last shloka in this chapter. We will go through the summary of the whole chapter today because this is the last time we'll be looking at it. Text 1 to 3, knowledge and eligibility. Text 4 to 10, Krishna's relationship with the material world. He's like Achinta Bheda Tattva. 11 to 25, about fools neglect bhakti and divine don't. And this last section, 26 to 34, wonderful section about glories of devotional service. So today is 9:34. We already read the text. We'll just remind ourselves about the translation again. Engage your mind always in thinking of me, become my devotee, offer obeisances to me and worship me. Being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me. So in text 33, which Vrindavan Chandra Prabhu did yesterday, it says, Anityam asukam lokam imam prapya pajasvamam. Basically, give up this anityam, temporary asukam, stressful loka, the world, and just engage in loving service unto me. So after having given that instruction or recommendation, in this verse, Krishna is clearly now telling us how to engage in his service. So this verse actually is the most important verse in the Bhagavad Gita. Literally the most important verse of the Bhagavad Gita. So we can now see how the Acharyas come to that conclusion. The Bhagavad Gita, first of all, Bhagavad Gita is the essence of all scripture. There is a beautiful verse in the Gita Mahatmya Bhashya Shankaracharya, where he says, Sarvopanishado Gavo Dogda Gopala Nandana.
Prabhuji, we can't hear you clear. There is a sound at the back.
Sorry, one second. Let me see if somebody's unmuted. One second. I can't see anybody unmuted here. Can you please make sure everybody is muted, please? That symbol of the microphone should be red.
But is listening to something?
No. Okay, because the microphones are all muted as far as I can see. Yeah, one second. I'm just going through the screens. Yeah, all the microphones are muted. Okay, looks like it's stopped now. Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Is it okay?
bit better. Yeah. Thank you.
Bit better. Okay. Can everybody else hear me properly?
Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Can.
Okay, so just repeat this beautiful verse from the Gita Mahatmya text 6. Sarvopanishado Gavo Dogda Gopala Nandana Partha Vatsa Sudhir Bhakta Dugdam Gita Mitam Mahat. So this beautiful verse is glorifying the Bhagavad Gita as that. Okay, I think Mataji, I'm going to thank you. And also Nita Mata Mataji, I'm going to mute you as well. Thank you. Right. So the translation is very nice. So here it's first of all Vedas, as we know, the Vedas basically are all summarized in the Upanishads. Upanishads is a summary of all the Vedas. So here it is said that if all the Upanishads are like a cow, the milk of the cow is Lord Krishna, son of Nanda, and Arjun is a calf. And the beautiful nectar of the Gita is the milk. And the fortunate devotees of fine theistic intellect are the drinkers and enjoyers of that milk. So when cow gives milk, the Lord has designed the cow in such a way that the cow gives a lot more milk than the calf can take, so that the human beings can take advantage and have milk. A lot of people nowadays have the notion that by drinking cow's milk is cruelty because we are taking the milk away from the calf. But that's not actually the case. The reality is that a cow, if the calf drank all the milk that the cow produced, the calf would be very ill. So this is how the nature's design is. So in this analogy, Krishna is the milkman, Arjun is the calf, and then the extra milk is being taken by, it says, devotees of fine theistic intellect. So these are, in the verse it says, Sudhir. Dhir means intelligence, Su means good intelligence. So people with good intelligence, devotees, are drinking the milk of Bhagavad Gita. So this is the essence. So Bhagavad Gita is the essence of all the Upanishads, as this particular verse says. So now, it is said that the chapter 9 is the essence of Bhagavad Gita. And I'm sorry, just going to mute again somebody. Thank you. Chapter 9 is the essence. So we said Bhagavad Gita, essence of all the Upanishads. Chapter 9 is the essence of the Bhagavad Gita. And verse 34 of the Bhagavad Gita, which is the verse we're reading today, is the essence of chapter 9. So you can imagine that this is the most important verse in the whole of Bhagavad Gita. It's the essence of the essence of the essence of the essence, if you follow that trend, right? And so some people might actually say that 1866 is the most quoted, and mostly people say that is the most important verse. So 1866, as we all know, can somebody recite 1866? Anybody? Nobody? Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam raja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishami ma susham. So that verse talks about surrender to me, give up all other processes and just surrender unto me. I will deliver you from all sinful reactions, Krishna says. Do not fear. So that is an important verse, of course, but this one, 839-34 rather, is more important because this is showing the process of how to surrender. Somebody could give you the instructions and say just surrender, but if you don't know how to, then that's not much meaning. So this is also the only verse which has been repeated almost all of it except for 2 words. This verse has been repeated again in the Bhagavad Gita. Does anybody know where? I'm talking about not the Gita Mahatmya.
18th chapter.
Yeah, 18th chapter. Which verse?
I think it's 66 or 67 or 68. I can't remember.
Very
64.
close.
Manmana
Very close.
bhava mad.
That's it. That's it. Can you recite all of it?
Manmana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishyasi satyam te pratijano priyosi me.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you very much, Radhika Mataji. So that, see, there's only 2 words which are different. So there is no other verse in the Bhagavad Gita which has been repeated like this. This again emphasizes the importance of this verse. Right? So, and also this verse happens to be in the 9th chapter, which is in the middle of the Bhagavad Gita, and 34 is literally almost at the middle of the whole of Bhagavad Gita, text 34. So as for example, a pearl, you find the pearl in the sea, it's protected by the 2 shells, right? Similarly, this verse is protected right in the center of the Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is divided into 3 main portions. Can somebody name the 3 portions of the Bhagavad Gita? First 6, second 6, and third 6 chapters.
Karma.
Karma Yoga,
Yeah.
Jnana Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga.
No, Dharma. Okay, so first is Karma Yoga.
Then
Down.
and then Jnana Yoga.
Then Bhakti.
Bhakti in the middle.
Yes, and then Gyan.
Then Gyan, yeah.
Bhakti Yoga, which is the most important, is being protected on both sides by Karma and Gyan. If you have something very valuable in the house, you will not keep it by your front door. You keep it somewhere deep in the house, somewhere in the safe, or somewhere where nobody would find it, right? So this is the most confidential knowledge. This is why it's there, right in the middle. It's protected, and it is the most important knowledge. So we'll now go through the main points raised in this verse, and the purpose of the verse talks about 4 important instructions. So we will take these instructions in the reverse order, because each refers to a different level of advancement of devotion service. So the 4th most important is mentioned is worship me. As the verse goes, man manava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaisesi yut vaivam atmanam at parayana. Always think of me, engage your mind always in thinking of me, become a devotee, offer your obeisances unto me, and worship me. So worship me comes there as a 4th instruction, right? But we'll take it in reverse order, because worshipping is a typical worship that we do at home, and of course some devotees may be really advanced, and that worship will be 100%. But generally speaking, worship, we're offering incense, we're offering a lamp, diya, we're offering flowers, we're offering bhoga, but quite often our mind may not be there 100%. You know, sometimes we're there, sometimes we're not there. We're doing it as a ritual sometimes. So this is, but it's still very important, of course, right? But that's why all 4 are important, but there's a slight degree of difference there. So this is the worship element. The next, number 3, is the offer obeisances. So there's 3 types of obeisances people pay. First one is like we see here, standing up and just bowing down, bowing your head, really. That's the first type of obeisances. All the obeisances we do are very important, because those obeisances make us humble, and the obeisances also eradicate all our sins when we're bowing down, right? So this one is standing up, bowing down. Next one is the typical one which most people do, which is called the Panchanga Pranam. The Panchanga meaning we got your 2 knees, 2 elbows, and your head. 5 items touching the floor. Panchanga Pranam. In ISKCON, the ladies do this kind of pranam. And then what the Prabhujis do is the Dandavat Pranam, where you got your complete body touching the floor. Dandavat, that word, Sanskrit word, danda, we understand the word danda. Danda means a stick, right? A rod. And to fall down flat like a rod on the floor, dandavat, just like a rod. That's called the dandavat pranam. So this is the three ways of pranam. And what devotees explain is that the pranams should not be silent. When we're doing our pranam, there should be a prayer in our mind. We should be, for example, whenever I bow down at Srila Prabhupada's deity at the manor, then I chant the pranam mantra of Srila Prabhupada. When I'm bow down with the deities, I chant some mantras for the deities, glorify the deities, or you can just chant the Maha Mantra. So like that. So then what the pranams should be with some prayer, some feeling in our mind. Should not be silent. The other thing that the devotees say, especially when you are doing the pranam number 2 and number 3, your hand, like in this case in the photograph, I found this devotee has got one hand down, one hand slightly up. And this is very typical of devotees, because most of the times if you're bowing down with bead bags in your hand, you want to try and keep the bead bag up. So actually, Prabhupada explains in various places that that's not a proper pranam. Both hands should be down on the floor. So it's important to put your bead bag away before you bow down, or put it in such a way so it doesn't touch the floor, and that way you do a proper pranam. So this is, they're coming down to number second, become my devotee. So this is the devotee here is engaging in the 9 processes of devotional service. We all know that, hearing, so Shravanam, Kirtanam, hearing, chanting, remembering, and all that. So we were familiar with those. So here this devotees now are actually practicing, and they're engaging the senses in the service of the Lord. When you're engaging your senses in the service of the Lord, they are not then engaged in other services. This is why this is a bit more stronger level of devotion. Sarvapadi vinirmuktam tat pravatvena nirmalam rishikesha sevanam bhakti ruchete. All you engage all your senses. So rishikesha means rishikena means rishika means our senses. So rishikesha means the Lord, engaging the senses in the service of the Lord. So this is that. And then the first most important is engage your mind always in thinking of me. So we sometimes, depending on our level of devotion, we are sometimes thinking of the Lord, sometimes we are not. Some degree of our mind is there, it's not. So it's not always possible at the practicing stage for us. We're all practitioners, not possible to think of the Lord always. But there's examples of, like the gopis in this picture, for example, the gopis were helplessly thinking about Krishna. We say sometimes we can't focus on our chanting because helplessly our mind goes away to mundane stuff. Similarly, the opposite was the case with the gopis. The gopis were helplessly thinking about Krishna. They could not stop. They could not avoid the thoughts of Krishna. Sometimes they would be trying to do some duties at home, put like washing clothes, putting on clothes. They put the clothes off the wrong way because they're just, the mind is not there. Sometimes they're doing something, churning. They're supposed to be churning butter, but halfway through, their mind is so preoccupied with Krishna they realize they've been churning rice instead of butter, like that. But this is the kind of absorption that the gopis had. And similarly, we have our dear Srila Prabhupada, who was always constantly engaged in thinking about Krishna, because the whole purpose of his life was to propagate Krishna consciousness. So these are the 4 ways how we need to practice surrendering to Krishna. How to engage our mind in Krishna? So engaged in his eternal form. We have to engage, these are the words from Prabhupada's purport I'm using, with conviction that Krishna is a supreme. We should have no doubt that Krishna is a supreme personality of Godhead. We should engage the body, mind, and activities in his service without deviation. BMW, I normally say, BMW. We should engage our BMW in Krishna's service, body, mind, and words in Krishna's service without deviation. And this will help us, Krishna says, to transfer ourselves to Krishna Loka. So there are many ways to remember Krishna. It's important to sort of have some idea in our head how to remember Krishna. So there are lots of verses in the Srimad Bhagavatam, especially the 10th canto, where there's some beautiful descriptions of Lord Krishna. And one of my favorite verses is 10:21:5, where the gopis are glorifying Krishna. And this is how they glorify him. Baraha Piram Natavara Vapuha Karnayo Karnikaram Bibratvasaha Kanakakapisham Vaijayantim Chamala Randranveno Adarasudaya Puranaya Gopavrinde Vrindaraniyam Swapadaramanam Ravishad Gita Kirti. Yeah, very, very nice verse. Beautiful description. Baraha Pidam. So he's got a note, he's got a peacock feather rather, on his head. Baraha Pidam. Natavara Vapuha. His Vapu, his body is like the best of dancers. Karnayo Karnikaram. On his ears, he's got flowers. Karnika, they are beautiful, very, very sugandhi, very fragrant flowers called Karnikar. He's got those around his ears. He's got Brihadvasa Kanaka Kapisham. He's wearing garments like gold, yellowish gold garments. Pitambar, we call them. That's what he's wearing. Vaijayantim Chamalam. He's wearing a garland with forest flowers, 5 types of forest flowers. You can see in this picture, beautiful garland. Randran Veno. So the holes, Randra means hole. Venu, of course, means flute. The holes of his flute. Adara Sudaya. He's filling the holes of the flute. Adara means lips. Sudaya means nectar. He's filling the holes of the flute with the nectar from his lips. Vrindaraniyam Swapadaramanam Pravishad Gita Kirti. It said as he enters the forest of Vrindavan, his footsteps make Ramanam, make the soil of Vrindavan enchanting by his footsteps. So it's a wonderful verse to try and meditate on. So then, just concluding on that purport, Srila Prabhupada talks about unscrupulous commentators. They refer to Krishna's mind. They do not know that there is no difference between Krishna and his mind. Krishna is absolute. In the material world, we have duality, but in the spiritual world, there is no duality. Everything is absolute. So there is no difference between Krishna and his mind and his body. There are a lot of people who actually, when Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Aham, I am the maintainer of, I am the source of everything. Those people who don't believe in the personal form, they try and explain that to say, oh, when Krishna says I, that he means the impersonal within him, the Brahman within him, which is impersonal. Krishna says that. Now the thing is, when they say this, do they think that Krishna's vocabulary was so limited that they need to help him? When Krishna says I, he means I. If he meant something else, he would say something else. It wasn't that Krishna was limited in his vocabulary. So it's quite absurd for them to say, aham, aham means I. And I cannot be translated in any other way. But they, just to serve their own purpose, they say, oh, no, when Krishna says I, he means something else. So silly. Then the demonic mentality, they think of Krishna but always unfavorably. So this is like Prabhupada gave the example of Kamsa. Kamsa was also thinking about Krishna, but he was terrified. He wasn't thinking of Krishna favorably. He was envious of Krishna. So that is not the kind of thinking we must do. We must, and some may be attracted by different features of the Lord, like impersonal Brahma Jyoti, or local as Paramatma. So we know that the Bhagwan feature is a final, complete feature of the Lord. There are Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagwaniti, Sabdyate. So Brahman realization, Paramatma realization. Also, there are we accept them as realizations of the Lord, but they are partial. The complete realization is the Supreme Lord. So one who always engages in Krishna consciousness should be understood to be a perfectly saintly person. His accidental non-devotional activities will diminish, and he will soon be situated without any doubt in complete perfection. So this reminds us of the couple of verses we did just recently in the 9th chapter, chapter 9:30. Apichet suduracharo bhajate mam ananya bhat samyak sadhureva mantavya samyak bhavati hitoisa. That even if one commits some action, some wrong action, if he's engaged in devotional service, he should be considered saintly because he is properly situated in his determination. And then the next verse says, Shipram bhavati dharmatma shashpashantim nigachati kantaya pratijanihi namme bhakta pranashati. Declare it boldly, O son of Kunti, that my devotee never perishes because he quickly comes to the righteous path. So just Prabhupada is reminding us of those two. Time is running out, so I think we will stop here. Thank you all very much. Let me just stop sharing this. So thank you all for being with us for the whole of 9th chapter. It is one of the most important chapters. You must have all realized such wonderful philosophy that we got through this chapter. It gives us the foundation of our devotion. So anybody has any comments, any additions, any realizations, please welcome. You can unmute yourself.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much.
The sound's not coming through. Is that Jyoti? Who was speaking? The sound is not coming through.
I know, yeah, it's cutting off. My name is Jyoti, yes.
Yes, now I can hear you.
Yeah, thank you so much. I just wanted to say thank you. Really appreciate your time and sharing your knowledge with us.
But I know I thank you all for making the time to join the class. It is so. There are so many things going on the net nowadays, on
Yes,
Zoom and all that. So for you to take out the time and join us for these sessions, thank you so much for all of you.
thank you. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you for such a melodious voice. You really sing beautifully.
Oh, thank you so much, Jolly Mata.
I just one simple question. Is a male and female, there's a difference in prostrating, isn't it, in praying?
Yes,
Because there's only male that does that. Is that right?
that's correct.
Because I remembered when I started coming to the manor,
Yeah.
I prostrated right on the floor, not realizing. Then somebody pointed to me.
Yes. So this is very important actually, because for the ladies, it is not considered dignified to go completely flat on the floor. So that's one reason why the ladies do the Panchanga pranam. Also, they also explain that the ladies should not touch their chest to the floor. That's also not auspicious. So that is why.
Prabhuji,
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Can you explain? I little bit understand, but cannot completely understand when Krishna says is the absolute truth.
Okay. Yeah, absolute truth basically means the final realization, final. See, there are so many different things that people can go, so many different paths. But the absolute final truth means that there is nothing beyond that.
Okay.
No truth beyond the fact that Krishna is the Supreme Personality to Godhead. That is the absolute truth.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you. And another question, Prabhuji.
Yes.
You know, we don't water the tulsi plant on the Ekadashi and also on the day following Ekadashi.
Yes.
Why is that?
Okay, that's a very nice question. I did know the answer at some point. I remember asking somebody. but I will not be. It was technical, and that's why it didn't stay in my mind. What I'll do is I'll try and find out, and I'll put it on the chat.
Okay. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna. Thank you.
Krishna Prabhuji.
Excuse me again. Sorry.
Yes.
I was made to believe that you don't water tulsi every day. Is that right?
It depends on the light and heat that's got around the tulsi. My wife, for example, will sometimes water it every day, sometimes every alternate day. You have to just judge how much water it needs, because in a very, very warm day, or even in the winter, if you got like a radiator nearby and it's very, very dry, then they may need water every day. And also it depends on your plant. Some plants are very healthy and they can do with water maybe even just a couple of times a week, but and some need more. So it's very, very subjective.
Haribol.
Haribol.
Hare Krishna Makandari Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
We also water when we go round the tulsi. We do when we go round 3 times.
Yes.
We do put a little bit of water now before we do pranam.
Yes.
Every day when we do tulsi arati.
Yes, yes, we do that. We do that. Yes. Palika Mataji, do you know? I do know that we don't pluck the tulsi on Dwadashi day, but Mataji mentioned that we don't water it. Did you know about that?
No, I know when we go around the tulsi, we do put water. I haven't heard that we don't.
Yeah. So watering is one thing, but yeah, on Dwadashi day, I know that we don't pluck tulsi. That's why my wife.
Because they are doing, because Tulsi does Nirjala Ekadasi.
Okay, that's okay. Thank you, Pushpa Ben. Because Tulsi does Nirjala, so we don't water. Okay, that's interesting. Thank you. That is something that.
That's why we don't feed Tulsi on Ekadasi.
Thank you for clarifying that. Yes, I wasn't sure about that.
Oh, but I think it was Vrindavan Prabhuji said that we even don't water on the day following Ekadashi. So that's what we could not understand. So
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So I will actually, because he's the one who mentioned it. I will find out from him.
Yes,
and we'll put it on the group.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Anybody else?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, it's Jyoti again. Sorry.
Okay.
Prabhuji, what's the meaning of Dwadasi? Like, is it a day before Ekadashi or after?
After. Dwadasi means 12. So Ekadashi is 11. Dwadasi is the 12th day.
So on Ekadasi, we don't pluck the tulsi leaf, and the day after as well.
Yeah, actually, what my wife does, I think we don't pluck it on the 12th day, on the Dwadashi. Somebody can correct me.
Okay.
We don't pluck tulsi on Dwadashi.
Yeah, we don't pluck tulsi, but on Ekadashi we do, right?
We do, because she needs to take rest on Dwadashi because she's been fasting on Ekadashi.
Right. Okay. So
that's what they're
saying. My understanding was right, Jyoti Mataji, that we can pluck tulsi on Ekadashi, but not on Dwadashi.
Yeah.
Okay, so the day after Ekadasi is called Dwadasi.
That's it.
Yeah, that is Baras.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Anybody else?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, I was just checking a calendar, this morning, and tomorrow is Ekadashi.
Yes.
And on a Dwadashi, when we break fast, for the fasting, the timings are very early in the morning.
Yeah. So once in a year we get this. This is all to do with the planetary positions, and very, very technical. But yes, once in a year we get this very, very short time, and sometimes it's like between 8 and 9, or like 10 past 8, something like that. But tomorrow, I mean.
And what happened, Prabhu, if we don't?
Actually, we should try and do it, because otherwise, what happens is that if you haven't broken it, then you're supposed to continue doing your Ekadashi throughout Dwadashi.
Okay.
Right? So breaking the fast is very important. So you set an alarm, wake up, and just as quickly brush your teeth, and even if you haven't showered, just keep something by your bedside and take it. Ideally, one should shower, and there's a whole video about how you should break your fast. But in this kind of situation, we are all sadhakas. We are not perfect, so we can do this. I suppose.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
What is the time on Dwadashi we should break the fast?
So the time was, one second, I'll tell you. Somebody has put it on here. I'll just get to go if anybody knows, but I'm looking for my message. It is early in the morning, 5 something, but I'll find the message in a minute. Yeah, here you go. So breakfast time.
5:11.
5:11, yeah, 2, yeah. So
Yeah,
no,
that's
so
the
4, okay. So 4:42 to 5:11.
Yeah, 5. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for that. Thank you.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare
What time does the fast start then? The
Fast.
normal?
So normally fast, because whenever you go to sleep on the day before Ekadashi, that is when it will start, right? But some people, but there is actually a time usually, and you could, if somebody's doing nijara, then there is a time that it actually starts. But for practical purposes, when we go to sleep, that's when we stop eating and we don't take any grains. Because now, you see, my thinking right now, I'm just thinking logically that if the breaking time is 4:42, then I would say the start time also will be 4:42 the previous day.
Somebody actually sent us a message saying it's 10 to 7 this evening.
This evening, is it? Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So
And
this is
then
very complex, matter. It's sometimes people think that it's as simple as like difference in time between India and here. No, it's not. It's quite very complex. And Karthik Chandra Prabhu, who is a Pandit, who explained it to me once, but it was so complex that it didn't stick in my head. But I will try and get that answer and put it on the group.
Prabhuji, what I have heard from Amrendra Prabhuji is, and it is supported by the modern genetic science as well, is 36 hours of fasting.
Okay.
Is what is accepted by modern science also for long life and for avoiding many diseases which are chronic in nature. And that has been supported by our Vedas. So all these muhurats of starting and ending typically revolve around that rule way back before modern science could realize it. So it is 36 hours. So starting tonight, 12 hours tomorrow morning, and then 24 next 24 hours. So
that makes a lot of sense actually. That makes a lot. Thank you, Sandeep Prabhu. That makes a lot of sense. But there's a lot of science around this. It's not that somebody just decided these times. There's a lot of science around this, and it's quite complex. We just follow the calendar and just carry on. Sometimes it's not very important to understand the technicalities. Okay, it's almost 10 to 9. So thank you once again. Thank you all very much. We will be starting with Divanam Prabhu, the 10th chapter tomorrow. So we will all look forward to that. Please keep safe and look after yourselves. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you,
so much,
Prabhu.
Prabhuji.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Hare Krishna. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you, Prabhu, very much.
Thank you. Hare
Thank you
Krishna.
very much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Umilaben.
Thank you.
Thank you, Umilaben. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Mukundhari Prabhu. Thank you for allowing me to recite.
Oh, thank you so much, Hare Krishna. Jai. I think it was so nicely done, actually. I really enjoyed your recitation. Really enjoyed it. And Pinky Mataji,
Thank
sorry, I
you.
forgot to thank her as well. She did a fantastic job as well. Very nice.
It was very nice class. Thank you. Very nice.
Thank you for your encouragement. Thank you. You are the, you are the my mentor in that sense, because
Oh no, Prabhu.
when you came and joined our sangha, we were all not even chanting 16 rounds. You remember, and you and Rishikesh Prabhu started us off. So we always thank you for that.
All Krishna's mercy and now Vaishnava's mercy, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, I'll end the call now. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna.